Welcome everybody to the iRacing eSports Network and the Pure Sim World GT Championship with Simortal. This is Apex Racing TV, Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath, and Alex Simpson doing the cameras for us today. And yeah, we're just about to start the pace lap. Well, we are on the pace lap, sorry. We're just about to start the race. Josh Thompson is on pole for Williams with a fantastic lap, 159.0. He was 4/10 clear of Ross McFarlane in second place. He's in the Mercedes on the outside, and the pace car is in. And we'll see now as they go through Murray's Bend. We'll see who can take the advantage over the line. Oscar Mangan just behind them in third. Michael O'Docker is in fourth for Texans Fitzstite. And the green flag flies then at Bathurst for an hour and a half of racing. Hour and 45 minutes, sorry, in the World GT Championship.
Great start by everyone. It's Simon Field looked like he was on the pole, didn't he? But he was starting from the pit lane, and you can see the slipstream game beginning straight away. But one thing that's great to see is 3 different manufacturers in the top 3. BMW first, Mercedes second, and McLaren third. And after speaking to Thompson last week, it looks like the BMW's form is carried over to this circuit as well.
Yeah, we've seen the McLaren and Pete Harrod there since Fox Racing USA. They've got a strong presence in this series as well. Ben Palmer's in there somewhere down the field. You see just in front of them is Nico Foggy in 8th place. And there's Lewis Bibby and the other Texans Fitzstite car.
Up to Lukey Heights for the first time then. This is where there was quite a big incident in the Bathurst 12 hours a couple of weeks ago. Now down the hill where there was a big incident in the virtual Bathurst 12 hours. I'm not sure if the Apex cars involved in that one, but looking here at Oscar Mangan, the Irishman doing well in the early stages, and now coming down to Forest Elbow, where I think even in these World GT cars it's going to be pretty tough to get an overtake done. But we're coming to a part of the circuit where we usually see them take place down the Conrod Straight.
Yeah, privateer in this series at Oscar Mangan, it looks like at the moment. Mark Fletcher, P5. Another one of the Texans Fitzstite cars. And Oscar Mangan then about half a second behind Ross McFarlane, looking to put some pressure on the Scot. So England, Scotland, well, Isle of Man, Scotland and Ireland. Top 3.
Interesting fact is that you can see all of those from the Isle of Man. Yeah, look north you can see Scotland, look east you can see England, and then look west you can see Ireland. That's an interesting fact for you. I think you might even be able to see Wales if you look south. I'm not sure, maybe on a clear day, but anyway, end of the year.
Mike Horder in 13th place, a Welshman. He's actually leading the Pro-Am category in the Mercedes.
In the opening lap then, it's...
Parlay that into a good result.
Oh yeah, definitely. In fact, Horder, as you can see on the timing tower on your left-hand side, is leading the Pro-Am category at the end of the opening lap. We've sorted out that issue from the opening week. Now all the positions you see are where they are on the circuit, and if they're in green, they're in the Pro, and if they're in yellow, they are in the Pro-Am category for this one.
Yeah, and then the Am category will be in... Is it orange now, that one? Yeah. Leading the Am category at the moment is... I'm not sure actually who's leading the Am category at this time. In the overall standings, it's Craig Jones. Oh, what's that? I can hear a crash. Baird and Macaulay and...
Oh yeah. Barry Baird dropping down the order quickly here. This is at the top of the hill, and that lovely liveried Audi might have some scrapes off.
Oh, he just hit the inside wall. Oh, big, oh
no.
There's nowhere that the BMW could go, and that was some hot chaos behind us. They're all trying to avoid him. He did well to only really take out that one car. Big hard hit on the wall there.
Thompson coming around to complete his second lap then. This is an Enduro, of course, so they've got a long way to go, and that is not the best way to start proceedings. You will get a fast repair in this series, and we do have the power of throwing a safety car as well, should there be any big pile-ups on the circuit. But so far so good, And we come over the line to complete the second lap of the race now. We have a few Enduros each year, and this is the first of them after having a free 20-minute sprint races last time out at Catalonia.
Yeah, a little change of pace from the main sprint race format that we normally have here in the World GTs. And here comes Ben Palmer. He's having a look at Dan McCauley. Great onboard shot as they go down the straight there, go towards the mountain.
So you can go around the outside of turn 2, and he's got it done. He is clear. So Dan McCauley getting past there, and Palmer forces him to yield. And the SimSports Racing USA McLaren is now up into 15th place. 4 places gained so far. He's one of the biggest movers in the field, in the top group anyway. Some other drivers outside the top 30, they've really put the loud pedal to the floor. The likes of Billy Fletcher and Steve Burke, they've gained 14 and 17 places respectively in the early going. A lot of cars, as you can see at the bottom, into the pits at the end of the opening few laps.
Great commitment shown by Palmer over Rock Skyline, and really looking good. Throws it down the mountain section, almost loses it. Here's the Australian Jake Blackhall then on home territory, and he's making use of that to be in 6th place. We're going to get a replay here. James King.
This is James King, who had an all-right race meeting at Catalonia.
That's it.
I think if viewers at home, you might be able to have a better idea than us of what's going on, I think.
I can't see anything at the moment.
Oh well. Back to live then, and sorry James, hopefully viewers at home. Oh, there's a car off, there's an Aldi bouncing down the field at the back of the shot. Oh, this is the replay. This is the replay of what happened. And God, Murray Walker right there. Oh dear, well the Mercedes turned across the front of him, 772, back into the middle of the field. Many cars go into airborne, and that is how James King ended up in the pits. What a shame for him.
Yeah, I've got pictures now. I'm afraid I didn't have it for a moment. I couldn't see any of that, I'm afraid. Ross McFarlane in P2, frantically chasing down Josh Thompson. 2.7 seconds is the disadvantage for him. But to be honest, Adam, I think just finishing the race is the key for most of these drivers. I know we say it pretty much every time we come here, but it's so true, isn't it? Danger is at every corner.
Oh, definitely, and we've seen these are some of the best drivers in the business when it comes to these GT cars, and they've already come a cropper in the opening exchanges. I'm sure some drivers, they don't need to be made aware, but of course it is an hour and 45-minute race, as you can see at the top of the screen. And by now, if this was a normal race meeting, or for the majority of the campaign, we'd be nearly halfway through a race, but still plenty of time to go here as we're looking at the man currently sat in P2, Ross McFarlane.
Watch for Nicole Foggy as well. He doesn't always qualify amazingly, but he's great in the race. He always seems to make ground up. He's P7 after starting in 8th. Just looking at Ross McFarlane then. Jake Blackhall is in pursuit of this next group. Oscar Mangan, Michael Doka, Mike Fletcher. Mangan almost starting to hold up the Texas Pitstop Mercedes now. Adam, they're in close pursuit. I wonder if they're going to try and make a move soon.
Yeah, he is. Probably not the best place to think about it here over the top of the hill, and then now towards McPhillamy Park. So a big incident here in the Bathurst 12-hour 2, and you see how close they get to that outside wall as well.
So close, don't they? And I mean, we've all raced at this track. everyone in this commentary box tonight has raced here before several times as well, but I tell you, every time you come here, it's terrifying to race around here at full speed. It really is. And an hour and 45 minutes is very, very difficult indeed. Wacko's going to have a look now. BMW traditionally underpowered on the straights. He might have a go into the chicane.
All of a sudden, the Mercedes just got that last little bit of straight line speed, which of course is something that the BMW doesn't have, and that's that's probably what saved Mark Fletcher there on that occasion. But you can see on the exit of the corners, the BMW is able to put the power down so well. Just in front of Blackhall and Fletcher, of Doka is starting to make a potential move on Oscar Mangan here. The gap is just over.
Oh, he's hit him! He's hit him!
Oh, he's hit.
He's knocked him into the gravel. So he's made contact with the McLaren. McLaren goes into the kitty litter. Mangan down to 6th, and he's under pressure from Foggy. Here's a replay. We're having a look at Morgan Butler now. Butler. Oh no, that's his teammate. Oh dear. That's his CQR teammate. Not sure who that was. Josh Thompson. Is Josh Thompson having an issue?
Not by my reckoning. I think he's still got a 4-second lead at the front. There he is.
They're flipping. He's all right.
The perils of the down the hill they go.
57 cars on the grid. We can't keep track of them all.
Here's the replay of Oscar Mangan. Yeah, this is what happened to the McLaren.
So does he break early here? Maybe.
Did a good job of saving it, mind. He lost it completely there.
But it didn't hurt Avdoka's line through the corner, did it? Here's Miguel Freitas for Team Mad, Portuguese driver in the Ferrari. Only Ferrari in the top 31 places. In fact, there's only 5 Ferraris in the field today. There's Freitas, there's Heath, and there's Jones, and there's Roberts, Jacquelet, and Dixon. So many people rocking the prancing horse. Is Avdoka now starting to hold him his teammate Fletcher? I wonder if you should just let him go, you know, and see if McFarlane, see if he gets to McFarlane. Not the teammates, but it wouldn't hurt for them to have another car in the pursuit. He might take matters into his own hands here, Mark Fletcher. Championship leader, isn't he? After one race meeting by 2 points. Doesn't get it done this time. The BMW is there. Yeah. Oh! I can hear a crash. Somebody just pushed the...
And then we got Brock Skyline, and then we
at least he got the country right. Anyway, at least not like Donald Trump who doesn't know his own which states which and thing. Now,
oh well.
Ethan Bass, Mark Woodhouse, a couple of seconds apart. Chris Daines just in front of them. Going well for Thompson though, really is. 5-second lead. And McFarlane in pursuit just set the fastest sector 3 of anybody, but it was only 1/10 quicker than Josh Thompson.
I think this was pretty ominous at the start of the campaign. Thompson doing so well at Catalonia, race 1 and race 2 in particular, were very good for the for Thompson for the Thrustmaster Movano racing car.
What happened to him in the third race? Can't quite remember. Did he get taken out? Because yeah, there's no way after those great performances that you thought he wasn't going to be up there, but he's only 2 points down in fairness, so it's not far. In fact, only 6 points separates the top 4 drivers, and less than 50 in the top 10. John Roberts, incidentally, was leading the Pro-Am category before today's meeting. And he's down in, I believe, in 30. It looks like 30th place for John Roberts at the moment. Oh, we might see him here actually. No, we're not. We're looking at
Michael Ducker, aren't we? Now back to Luna Thompson.
Before, I think they have some traffic potentially. Is that traffic in front? It's a Mercedes. Moves
Yeah,
out
this
of the way.
is
Very nicely gets out of the way actually. It's hard to get out of the way when you're being lapped here. It's one of the Pete Newman media cars, I think. Oh no, it's not. It's the Lizard Motorsport. That might be
Niall Crofer in the team, in the Team Lizard car you're mentioning.
Yeah, it looks like he's a couple of laps down. We've lost James King, we've lost Andy Shield by the looks of things, we've lost Barry Baird. Yeah, so it looks like we're having, I do apologise if we've been having any technical problems here. Just the sheer volume of cars. It seems like it's causing some issues with the C bar on iRacing. Oh. It's so close between those two, I tell you. So close. Between Evdoka and McFarlane. Fletcher.
Oh, looking here at Josh Thompson, who is really on the racket edge through the McPhillamy Park.
I wonder if we could maybe go
down the hill we go.
Like to go on, but we could go on board for a lap or two, maybe show that, if that'll help.
So we go through the dipper.
If I even think about going that fast, I crash out, Adam, I'm afraid.
I'll put this into some context for you if you're new to this series. Josh Thompson is right up there with one of the best drivers on the service at the moment.
Oh yeah, we were talking off air before the race started, and I was saying, and Alex was saying that I think Josh has improved a lot over the past 6 months, and now he's affiliated with Williams. I think only good things can happen in a big organisation like that. And once again, the Mercedes are fighting it out. Texans Fitzstein Motorsport into the chicane and then into Murray's Bend.
I'm just going to come onto air as well and just apologise, guys. I'm having major issues here. I don't know why we're getting these particular issues. This is the reason we were late broadcasting today, because of Adam had this same problem that I'm now experiencing as well. So something weird is going on in terms of the broadcast stream, what we're getting. I feel like if I'm going to get this resolved, I have no choice but to disconnect from the server and reconnect. I cannot physically see how it can be resolved at this point. Nothing else is running in the background at this point. So I really come on live just to sort of apologise and just sort of say, this is all I've got basically. I've got to try and do this, I think, if we're going to have the rest of the broadcast. I don't know quite why iRacing is doing this.
So we could take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few minutes, I think, when we've got this sorted out. But we'll be back with you in the World GT Championship.
CPU's on like 3% for me, Alex, so I don't know what.
Let's have a look at what my mic's doing. And
I
C
wouldn't- I
stands
don't-
for CPU. My CPU's
it's
on
not.
60-ish. Let me turn the cars up and see if it changes.
Everything was fine until with me until about 5 minutes. It's not because someone joins there's like a rogue thing where there's someone joining a session with 5 minutes to go, and then it's causing all this.
This happened to you last week, though. It was absolutely fine until minutes
I pressed
before the
start
session.
streaming. Yeah.
By the way, just so that you... Okay.
Um,
Are we still... Welcome back to the iRacing eSports Network and the World GT Championship with Pure Sim and Simauto. This is Apex Racing TV. I'm Adam Charlie Simpson with you, bringing you round 4 of 28 in this championship. And yeah, we apologise for the technical issues that we had before the break. I'm hoping that they have resolved themselves. We've got, I don't know, so I can't check at the moment, but I hope we have. And hopefully we can bring you the rest of this race. Now, just looking at what's happened over the last few laps, so we haven't really got massive change. All we got was Fletcher got ahead of Evdoka, but I think he led him through, Adam, to be honest, from what I saw.
Yeah, that's what it looked like anyway. The two teammates were pretty close, but there was the moment, wasn't there, where Evdoka slid slightly wide at the cutting. And of course, if you go too wide through up at the top, then you're going to be in quite a bit of difficulty. So I think for the team game, Fletcher was allowed on by, and Evdoka dropped down to 4th position. But it's still a fantastic race for TechSense Fitstyle at the moment. They've got cars in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and then their Renval team in 8th and 9th as well. So things are going extremely well for them right now.
Yeah, they've done well over Bibby and McClay. They're looking strong out there. Foggy, P6 for XVR.
Behind him, Jake Blackhall, the Aussie.
Somebody dropping down the order, or is that just a mirage? Might be Matt Bunn, actually. He might be dropping down, I'm not sure.
And Matt Bunn's still there in 20th place, but here comes Blackhall.
It's the timing screen going mental again. Oh!
And that's the Mercedes off. That was Nicole Foggy going wide on the exit of the chase.
It's got damage to the right hand side of his car.
Either way, the BMW is still carrying on pretty strong for now. One thing that will be in his favour is that there is a fast repair, so as long as he doesn't rough the car up anymore, when he comes in for his scheduled stop, he can make the choice of taking that fast repair if he needs it, or keeping it just in case the worst were to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, he's let Foggy go by as Blackhall. I wonder if he's suffering out there, maybe with that damage. Alright, so Thompson leads by 8 seconds, McFarlane's P2, then it's Mark Fletcher. Evdoka is 4th, Mangan 5th, maybe 6th, 7th Foggy, 8th Blackhall, 9th McLean, and 10th is Richard Warmingham. In the Pro-Am category, Mike Horner leads the way ahead of Mike Gray, then Ethan Bass, Dan McCauley and Matt Bunn. And then in the Am category, I wonder if we could just get the Am category up. Yep. Excuse me. Michael Blake's in 1st place, and then it's Morgan Butler, Stephen Burke, Craig Jones, and then in 5th place is, I'm not sure, but there we go. That's good. Oh, it's Van Ryn. It's Lars Van Ryn of Boosted Motorsport.
Oh, there's John Aegis again, the Maltese driver, car 52.
He did a good race last week, didn't he?
Yeah, did very well at Barcelona. Right now he's got a bit of a crumpled Mercedes at the front of his car, at least that's what I'm seeing anyway, and he's currently in a fight with cars that are not in his class, really, in Boland and Lars Van Ryn as they go up to Brock Skyline yet again. And you can see the different lap times as well at the top of the screen too.
Because of the nature of the track, because of it's almost split into 2 parts, really. The long straightaway sections, the Conrod Straight, the main straight, and the mountain straight. And then the tight, twisty mountain section itself. Overtaking can be surprisingly hard around here, especially if you're, say, you know, in the BMW, for instance. Adam, like Thompson's in the best possible place in that car, being at the front, because you know it doesn't have the limitations of its. Oh, that's a broken Mercedes. That Dan McCauley.
Oh, we are approaching the half-hour
no
mark.
bonnet as well. If you see that in the pit lane.
Oh, there was a car in the Xfinity series, in the real-life Xfinity race on Saturday, that just shed its bonnet. Dan McCauley then into the pits in the Supercars Simpsons car.
Did you see the iRacing damage trailer for the K&N series? There's bonnets flying and things like that in that one, and the bonnet flipping open. But oh, that's the wall. That's the wall for Warmingham. He'll hope he doesn't have suspension damage there, because he clobbered it with that right rear wheel. Doesn't look like he's got any bodywork damage, just maybe maybe tiniest bit bodywork damage for him.
XVR car soldiers on. Harrod keeping him at arm's length. This is a good battle really between BMW and the McLaren. We'll see if the McLaren has got the top end speed this time though, as they come onto the straight. Warmingham obviously in the Beamer has got no help in front of him in terms of the slipstream, so this might favour the McLaren even more as they go over the top of the crest and into the chase.
Yeah, it's a good job by Warmingham this.
Here they get by into the chicane, just not close enough this yet. The gap is around 3/10 as they get on the brakes. You want it to be at least half of that really if you want to have a lunge at the inside into one of the key overtaking points on the circuit. When we were talking about the circuit earlier, I was about to say it's almost like a rural Macau, you could say.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that's a fair comparison actually. In similar technical middle section, ridiculously fast straights, tricky first couple of corners as well. Just looking at the cars actually on the timing tower, you've got 9 Mercedes in the top 20. It's the dominant vehicle of the day. And 6 BMWs, 3 McLarens, and a Ferrari with 1 Audi. That's Christian Rose. He's in 18th place.
Another car at the bottom of the screen is coming to the pits. That is Fraser Smith, the Brittech SimSport car, the Merc trundling down the pit lane. In my opinion, Adam, I think this
Track is probably the hardest one to do an endurance race on. Oh my goodness, and that's why. That's Mark Fletcher.
Well, there's a car stuck at the top of the hill. Hopefully everybody sees it.
It looks like it. Looks like everyone's... Oh, let's hope he can turn it round well. He needs to turn the traction control off.
You can see just at the top of that shot.
Instead.
There's a car stopped, but I'm trying to work out who it is. It might be Simon Underhill. But either way, Fletcher gets going again. Here's a replay. Oh, there's already a car off at that point.
Bang, there's all sorts going on there. I'll be honest, I only saw the one car, and that was Fletcher. I didn't see the Audi with the bonnet missing. Oscar Mangan does well to get past there.
Jack Hills? Might be.
Hit. It's the black Audi, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that might be Jack Hills. That we see parked there. There is an event on the event.
How on earth did that start then? That's what I want to know.
Well, I'm trying to think of crashes I've seen there before. Well, here we go. The car's already a bit of a mess. That must be said. He gets on the...
bang!
The first TechSense car avoids it, but not that one.
Oh, not that one. The hills are alive with the sound of crashing.
Dear. It reminds me of a similar one in a MX5 broadcast we did where Lee Berridge just absolutely launched.
Well, hills crashed on the mountain. We had rolling hills last week. It's not going well for him so far, but you know, we know that you got to stick with series like this because you get your fair share of good results to go with the bad ones. Now, did Foggy cop a bit of that as well, did he? Or is he still going? I can't really tell.
I think he passed Mark Fletcher, but Nicola Foggy is in the pits. So we are half an hour into this one. We have got an hour and 15 minutes to go. Yeah, it could be scheduled, but here we go. It's an interesting scrap.
I mean, it's usually about... What is it? Usually about 45 minutes for this... these cars, is it? In the pits, I think? In the past we've had 2 stops, haven't we, in these races?
They were slightly longer back then, though. I think they might have been 2 hours. I don't know if the time might have been shortened somewhat. Just going to have a look at the rule book for you to see what we have for you on these endurance races. Of course, they're different to the usual ones, which 20-minute sprint races, which is what we'll have throughout the majority of the season. But we have 4 or 5 of these over the course of the campaign, where the drivers have to test their endurance driving rather than going hell for leather for 20 minutes at a time.
And I would just say it as well before we saw Fletcher flying through the air. That's the Championship League gone, by the way, as if you needed me to say anything even more obvious. But the in my opinion, it's the hardest track to do an endurance race on, because you've got to be so focused. You can go around a corner, and actually, even if you are focused, even if you do everything right properly, you can have a situation like that there. When you go around the corner, there's a car in the middle of the road. You can do nothing about it.
Yeah, you're relying on the driving of others around here. Definitely, especially on the mountain section. Got to make sure that people have their wits about them. Oscar Mangan has just passed Lewis Bibby, so that is Mangan up into P3 now. The McLaren getting past the Mercedes somewhere as we look at the fight between these four. This is Warmingham, Harrod, Freitas there in P9 in the Ferrari, one of the top Ferrari. In fact, the only Ferrari in the top 20. And then the Welshman, the leader of the Pro-Am category, that is Mike Horder in the Boosted Motorsports Cup.
Well, at the end of the day, these drivers might be scowling even more than Roy Keane once they finish an hour and 45 minutes round here. But they will be keen to get to the end because there'll be valuable World GT Championship points on offer as well. We've still got the halfway points in this season.
That is true, yeah, we do have the halfway points.
I've not seen.
Points for Enduros will be awarded using the user point system. Will be awarded at both 50 and 100% distance. So we have got 10 minutes to go until we dish. Oh, sorry, we haven't got 10 minutes to go. That's if we were doing an hour and a half race. We have got. We're doing an 105 minutes.
57 and a half minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
So there you go. Yeah, that is.
No,
It's a 105 minute. It's an 105-minute race. So.
Yeah, so it's not 57 and a half then. 52 and a half, isn't it? There you go. That's trying to add up on the go, isn't it? That one. The quick maths failed me.
2 mandatory pit stops as well for these guys. So that's why you're probably seeing many of them doing the pit stops at this stage now, at half an hour mark.
I know it's been on the service for years, but that McLaren fire breathing its way around the track is a joy to behold. As Warmingham pits from 7th position. And he should come out. You would think probably. What sort of pit stops did we have for the others?
So you're looking at
for the likes of 50 seconds, aren't you? I think we're looking at.
Oh, yeah, in the lane anyway. Dan McCauley, he was one that came in earlier. He was in the pits for around 20 seconds. Michael Evdoka was in for 15 seconds, so that gives you a clear indication of the pit stop times. You usually lose around 55 seconds altogether.
Yeah, it's probably going to come out around maybe the Marshall Engels Coghlan battle.
Don't mention Engels.
Oh,
I know. No offence to the Casper Engels. Just Bjorn. After the weekend. Pete Harrod here in 7th. Did score, yeah, that's why I feel bad. In 7th place is Pete Harrod here in the Sim Sports Racing USA car. Earlier on we were looking at him in that fantastic duel with the BMW of Warmingham, who has since then come into the pits as we saw. So he's now been released, and now the McLaren can set off after them. It's amazing, really. You were mentioning. Yeah.
Sorry, just while you're saying that, let's get an on-board lap with Josh Thompson. Let's see what he's up to out there. Take us through it, Adam. I know you know the track a bit better than I do.
Yeah, we're coming up to the first turn, Hell Bend. Now going up the mountain straight. It's where we get up to probably one of the top speeds on the circuit, aside from the Conrod straight 2. Thompson's got a bit of traffic in front of him, but we won't be worried too much about that just yet. In fact, the cars in front of him right now are the likes of Lars Jepsen and Simon Field in the Boosted Motorsport car. Field starts from the pit lane through turn 2, then uphill right-hander. This is where there were a few kangaroos during the real-life Bathurst 12 hours. Now to the cutting. Now through the right-hander. This is where I've seen so many cars hit the outside wall here, especially many of the touring car broadcasts that we've done, and Thompson wasn't too far away there, flirting with disaster as he goes to McPhillamby Park. Whole series of left-handers using a bit of outside curb there. Now through to Brock Skyline. This is where we saw the massive impact earlier with one of the Audis and the Texense Wittstein Mercedes. Plunging down the hill now, he's got one of the Audis in front of him. That's one of the Mad Cow cars, it looks like, by the looks of it. It is Lars Jepsen in the Mad Cow car. Thompson has got a 10-second lead, so he doesn't need to worry too much about this. He can probably get by on the exit of this corner. Forest Elbow, flashing the lights, he goes by under the bridge, and now he's got the boosted car Simon Field in front of him. Tell you what, that Audi is quite quick in a straight line. It's actually going wheel to wheel with Thompson here, but as we go into the chase, Thompson is able to assert his authority as leader. Now getting on the brakes into the chase. Everything fine for Tomo here, but when he comes into the pits at the end of this lap, we haven't been seeing cars come in. He hasn't come in for his stop yet. He stays out for another lap, and let's see what kind of lap time this was in race trim. Pros are doing around 1:59.8. That was Thompson's fastest lap of the race. Over line goes Thompson now. He does a 2-minute 0.7, 9 tenths of a second slower than the quickest lap he's done so far. That's a lap.
That's nice. It was a good lap. Great commitment over the top of the hill, as we mentioned earlier on. But Blackhall pits, I think, as well from P4.
Yeah, the Aussie coming into the pit lane now, having a good race so far. He was in a bit of strife at Barcelona, especially at that final chicane, if my memory serves me correctly. Looking here at
the only Australian out there as well at the moment. Here's Van Rijn, Lars Van Rijn.
Oh,
oi!
Maybe a bit of contact there.
A bit of contact.
At least with the car behind him anyway. Ben Palmer looks like he's coming to the pits too. Lars is trying to get past John Aegis here. Oh, sorry, he's getting passed by Foggy, I should say.
Yeah, Foggy's got a good slipstream, and these guys aren't really fighting Nick or Foggy. Oh, he's right. He's right there. Is Nickel on the brakes? Can he make it? I think he did, yeah. And now Van Rijn's got a good run on Boland here. Kevin Boland, 24th position. Van Rijn can do. The Dutchman in the black and orange car with the Netherlands flag on the side. As we're going to the Dutch Grand Prix. Wait, everyone's going to the Dutch Grand Prix this year. So big year for Dutch motorsport.
Big profile.
Well, there's plenty of hot street roads between now and then.
Josh Thompson in from the lead. We were on board for him for that previous lap. If we went on board with him this time, we would have seen him coming to the pits. He's also joined by Ross McFarlane, who's coming in too. The Scot and the Texans Fitzdy Motorsport car now coming into the pit lane too. They're choosing now as their time to make their first pit stop of the race.
Very quick pit entry for McFarlane. Really was on the limit on the way in. Using all the curbs. And it's all gone quiet as we're waiting for someone to inherit the lead. Is that going to be Pete Harrod? It is. I think he's going to take the lead. Is Pete Harrod momentarily. Mike Horder, the Welshman in the Mercedes, boosted Mercedes, and you see him just behind. He's actually leading the Pro-Am category, and he now is in second place. But Fowling's exiting the pits. Is he ahead of Thompson?
He might be, you know. Now this might be different strategies at play.
Yeah.
3 seconds ahead, and we did see a few pit stop times that were slightly different. So when they come in again, we might see something different at work. Of course, it is a mandatory stop, but I haven't seen anything in the rule book about tyres and fuel. So who knows?
It's important to know this, Adam, because the BMW is not quick in a straight line. So if Thompson has to do his overtaking on the circuit, that could be easier said than done.
Now we're going to see Thompson at work. Well, the gap is now.
I mean, you know what overtaking in that BMW is like.
Oh well. I'm trying to think of a race now where I fought my way through the field in one of those field tubbies, and none springs to mind. It's all about the quali pace and then leading from the front. But if anybody could get past Ross McFarlane, is Josh Thompson. So don't write him off. That's all I'm saying with Foyth.
Has there been a crash in the middle of the field, or is it just the?
I think it's the pit stops, you know.
Tower just going a little bit there.
Yeah, everybody's in the pits basically. There's a chunk of cars that have all come in. Aegis, Burke, Bolland, then Coughlin, Draycott, Butler, Hedgecock, all of them coming in on this lap. Adam Hedgecock in 2, Matt Draycott also coming in for his mandatory pit stop, which all means at the end, at the moment, is that Pete Harris, your race leader, is Horner in second, but they're both coming into the pits now for their first of their 2 mandatory stops. Whoa. So, I tell you what, if you lock a brake going into that little chicane, you're almost going to have to go through the gravel and then do another lap. So,
oh God, we've seen that before, haven't we? In.
oh, thank God we don't have a bollard here.
Well,
Ethan Bass coming.
I was thinking, thank God it's not the pit entry at the Kota.
Oh, that's true. Or the Nürburgring. Remember Raikkonen? He slid in and then slid straight back out again in that rain hit 2007 race.
At least he didn't hit a wall, though. I think that's the
Oh, Adelaide 95. Yeah.
My timing screen's just gone over my 3 screens and taken over everything I can see. So, yeah, that's fun. I'll leave you to it, Adam, for a second.
Yeah, in on this lap, Horder, Bass, Rose, Beard, and Blake all coming in on this lap. Bass has just come back out onto the circuit, which means we are starting to get back to an order that we saw before the pit stops took place. Of course, Ross McFarlane now leads the way. Mercedes have really come on strong in this first half of the race. You can see how much they dominate the top 5. The only other non-Merc is Josh Thompson in second. Then after that, it's Miguel Freitas, who, credit to him, one of the few Ferraris in the field. In fact, as I scroll down, he's one of 5 or 6 Ferraris in the field, and he's in 6th position right now. So he's obviously got his setup nailed down to a T. Plus, of course, his obvious talent. And here is Mike Horder, who is currently 2nd in the Pro-Am category, and he's fighting with Mark Woodhouse for the lead of that category. They're separated by just 0.4 of a second over Lukey Height.
Yeah, has Woodhouse pitted yet?
Woodhouse has not, no. At least that's what my overlay is saying anyway.
Yeah.
Now,
To be honest, I've had to reset my overlay, so I don't have anything from the first half of the race, sadly.
so my position gains, I think. This is very close. This is the fight between Ross McFarlane. Oh, we're looking at Ross McFarlane, I should say. I thought we were looking at the fight between the Mercedes and the Audi.
Yeah, there's a Ferrari just ahead of McFarlane as well. It's a year 1 racing Ferrari, car 42.
He's managed to negotiate him. Thompson's going to have to get by this trio now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, the year 1 car. And Billy Fletcher there in the CQR Sim Sports car as well has also been put back a lap. Thompson has also got one of the Mercedes cars just coming out of the pits that could be a spanner in the works. It's,
we saw that.
Yeah,
we saw that Billy Fletcher had some good pace last season, didn't we? In some of the races in the GTE cars. So it'd be good to see if you can find some of that pace in these GT3 cars as well.
Oh, I hear sliding. It's Thompson. Josh Thompson has crashed, and there he is.
No.
And he's always buried in the wall. He's trying to reverse at probably the worst corner to do so. You've got to feel for him. He was leading the first part of the race. He lost the lead to Ross McFarlane.
Problems.
Hopefully the viewers on home
Oh,
can...
the Ferrari spins.
Now, was that the year 1 car? I think it surely is.
It was.
That
Ferrari spun right in front of Thompson. And Adam, I said that about 10 minutes ago, that you can be going well, you can be doing everything in your power. Sometimes things like that just happen here.
It could have. I think we might have said that about 10 seconds ago as well. Before that incident happened, just the amount of traffic that he had to get through. But that is such a shame for Josh Thompson. Of course, he might have a fast repair still to hand, but his chances of winning have taken a massive drop here. Here is Michael Evdoka in 2nd place.
Yeah,
he's got Lewis Bibby up his up this rear spoiler, I should say.
Well, I was going to say, well, Josh Thompson's got a bump deal out of that one, didn't he? It does say, I will say though, the back of Lewis Bibby's car, it says check your butt. It's for colon and prostate cancer. So do make sure you do that, everybody, because that can save lives in all seriousness.
Mike Order getting past there to lap. That was one of the Belgians.
So actually, Adam, that was a good reference.
Accidental partridge in full swing here. 50% of the race is approaching us here. We've got 2 minutes to go until we dish out the points for the first half of the race. And as things stand, it's going to be fantastic reading if you're of a Fitstyle Motorsport persuasion. It's a 1-2 at the moment for TechSense, and then it's a 3-4 for Renval. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. With Bibby in third and Vale. It's not as bad as me calling Year 1 Sim Racing Year Only or something like that.
Yeah.
With Bibby in third and George McClay, the Scotsman, in fourth, and then Freitas completing the top 5 as things stand.
Yeah, and Miguel Freitas just going about his business nicely, isn't he? Not really much drama for him so far. But by the way, that Team Mad BMW of Blake looks really nice.
Up the mountain straight, that's Blake.
What's that?
I was just saying the Michael Blake going up the mountain straight for another lap.
Yeah, iRacing, of course, for those who don't know, if there is anybody watching who doesn't know, they've released new spec maps for the cars, so you can literally paint the cars in different finishes, chrome and matte and things like that.
Metallic, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the ones I've used in the past. Yeah.
Deluging down out here. I hope. By the way, I hope everybody in the UK is staying safe in Storm Dennis, because he's awful out there.
A few weather phenomenons here around the world this year, that's for sure.
And of course, the Daytona 500 was cancelled and postponed till today.
Tad ironic.
That'll be soon. That'll be starting soon as well.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah. Into Forest Elbow then. Still looking at Michael Blake here in 26th place. Cutting now to Ethan Bass, who is in 9th place. It is still Horder leading the way in the Pro-Am category, but here is the BritTech Sim Sport car. We did speak to them at the end of last week's show, and they were hoping for better things out here at Bathurst, and so far so very good. We were speaking to Ethan Bass as well, and here he is in 9th. He's got his teammate Chris Daines behind him in 10th place too.
Yeah, Ethan Bass, he's done well in the past few months. Seen some improvement massively from him. We raced against him in the touring cars on Sunday night as well. And he's leading Chris Daines here, his team principal.
Can tell you that Josh Thompson is
Fletcher right behind him, who's recovered from his accident actually.
Oh yeah, Fletcher in 11th place, which is not too bad really, considering the predicament he could have been in when he hit that Aussie at the top of the hill, at this top of this very hill here.
As much as we had some rear end jokes at the time, I was trying to say that Thompson, unfortunately, not only did he have the time when he's got to come into the pits again, but just the time stationary was so vast because, like you say, it was just the worst place to try and turn around.
You're probably as far away from the pits as you could possibly be from up there at the cutting. Long way from that.
Well, this is Fletcher then on Daines. BMW holding its own. He's getting a slipstream off that Mercedes. The other Mercedes of Fletcher. Is he going to have a look into the chase? Not an easy place to pass. Not an easy man to pass. And Chris Daines goes around the outside. Daines fighting hard then, side by side through the second part, and then into Murray's Bend. Daines is going to hold the inside line. Why not fight him at this point? This is pole position. Mark Fletcher isn't out of sync. This is where he's ended up after crashing at the top of the hill.
Fantastic scrap this going into the first corner. Now what can Fletcher do on the mountain straight? He's got the power of the Mercedes behind him.
Is he too close?
That is the issue, yeah.
He's getting a decent slipstream, but he doesn't have any overspeed. And the BMW has the toe of the Mercedes. He's going to go to the inside now. is Fletcher. We might get some touring car style racing here in these GT3s. By the way, Adam Ross McFarlane is loving life at the moment. Over 12 seconds clear after the accident of Thompson.
They're coming up to lap some of the cars that may have been involved in that scrap with Thompson. Looking here at Jake Blackhall, we saw him come into the pits earlier, and now he's fighting away with Nicole Foggy. Nicole Foggy, who's become renowned for being very quick in any car he ever steps foot in, really.
Well, I will say that I wouldn't have expected these two to be fighting over the minor places, so to speak.
Oh yeah, 12 versus 13.
Well, that's the situation we find ourselves in.
And it is, and we have passed the 52-minute mark now, so these positions, or something similar to that, will have now received points for where they are, which is a massive shame for Thompson. If he managed to hold on for about another 5 minutes or so, he could have at least banked those points. But unfortunately for him, he's in 37th place.
And that does explain why St Danes was fighting so hard with Fletcher, because he's still ahead of him actually, but because he needs, you know, all the points that he would have got for 52.5 minutes. Extra points there for him at stake. It's one of those things. It's like the NASCAR, you know, the stage format. When that came in, I was a bit like, well, this is dumb, this is stupid. Why break up a race, you know, why break up a proper race into 3 parts? And thinking about it, it gets battles going, it gets the people fighting for the points at different parts of the race, and this is exactly what this does as well, and I think it's actually a really good innovation. So consider me somewhat sold on it anyway. I will say Freitas flying the flag for Ferrari up there in 5th has been very impressive, hasn't he?
Oh, definitely.
Lewis Bibby at the moment. George McClay, now, we've not really spoken about him at all for Renvale, that's what I'm calling them, Renvale Fittstein Motorsport. And McClay's done a great job of sticking somewhat near his teammate. You see him just in the back of the shot there, the second Burgundy Mercedes.
Going well over the top of the hill, and 0.3 of a second is the gap between Avdoka and Bibby, as you can just about make out McClay there, just 2 seconds behind them, not too far away from picking up a bit of a tow if he was to lap slightly quicker, and he's lapping well at the moment. Is McClay? He's within. In fact, on that last lap, McClay was quicker than his Renvale teammate. He was only 1/10 of a second slower than Avdoka as well in second. So
he's not in a bad spot to be in, George McClay, because he's got a clear track in front of him. He's got a couple of seconds. He's not getting affected by any dirty air or anything like that. He's not got any traffic to worry about, and he's 10 seconds ahead of Miguel Freitas. So this is a great spot for him.
Top 10 then. McFarlane for Texans Fittstein Motorsport, Avdoka in second, then it's Bibby in third, then McClay fourth. It's the top 4 are all Mercedes. Then it's the Ferrari of Freitas in fifth. Then the first and the McLarens with Pete Harrod in P6, and then we've got Mike Horder in the boosted car.
No, that's Avdoka going slowly. Was he?
Did he damage?
Did he hit something?
Looks like everything's still pointing in the right direction.
If he didn't hit anything, he's going. He took a strange line through that corner. We might be having a few visual difficulties again. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's we think it builds up over the race as well. For some reason, don't really know why at all, sadly. But we will let you know if we do need to have another break. In the meantime, look at this great battle. Avdoka and Bibby. This is the same stable though, isn't it? You know, it's all Fittstein Motorsport. The top 4, in fact, Fittstein Motorsport. So they will be absolutely ecstatic with how this has gone today.
Sam Fitzpatrick and co will be definitely taking a screenshot of this for
Oh, he won't be
the
able
for
to
their
fit
various
his head
social
through
channels.
He won't be able to fit his head through the door if they finish 1, 2, 3, 4, will he? Fitzpatrick. He used to be a commentator on this series. That's why we can give him a bit of crap.
George
Probably
McClay's into the pits.
Nicest word I could
Yeah.
use. I couldn't think of another one.
McClay from the Fitztie stable is into the pits with just over half an hour to go. You would expect this to be stop number 2 of the race for him, and indeed it is. So I'll keep an eye on the clock for you to see how long he is in the box for, but he will lose obviously some places as a result. Whether it'll be a short stop or not, we'll wait and see. It's usually around 16, 17 seconds. This is a bit longer than that for McClay as we switch to the fights here, or the Pro-Am leader, Mike Horder, trying to get by Ben Palmer for 6th place overall. Very long stop for George.
Yeah.
I wonder if the first one's just to tick it off, and then the second one is when you need to get a little bit of fuel in, perhaps. But
some people were definitely taking longer than others. I mean, we saw Thompson lose over 10 seconds in that stop. Who's to say that his second stop wouldn't have been shorter? I mean, you've got the pit stop times there, I guess. I mean, you could maybe see next time if Thompson comes into the pits again, or which he will. Although he's had his 2 mandatory stops, so what's the distance where they can fill it to the end? Because he might not have been a million miles away from being able to fill it to the end. He's down in 34th place at the moment, is Josh Thompson.
But it was a 1 minute 9 second stop for George McClay, and obviously Thompson's second stop will have been him towing back to the pit, I'm guessing after his crash.
This is what I wondered. Is it a mandatory? Does that count as the mandatory pit stop, or do you have to take fuel and tyres in that pit stop in order for that to come to fruition? We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Apologies if we're still having the C-bar issues as well, by the way.
We might be getting there slowly.
You might need to get the remedy off you, Alex, afterwards. That's for sure.
Turn everything off.
Ethan Bass then.
You can't hear the dulcet tones of Alex Simpson, but yeah, he's working very, very hard, and we do have to thank him massively for coming in and saving us today.
Blackhall past Bass. That is the Aussie up into 11th place, demoting the Brits Sim Sport car down to 2nd, and we're back with the fight for the silver medal placing here between Michael Evdoka and Lewis Bibby. Same stable, different team, same manufacturer.
I wonder actually, Alex, if we could just bring you in for a minute, just as it's like the middle of the race.
Yeah.
I wonder if you just give us some thoughts on the track, because I don't know how much you've done round here, but it's a fearsome circuit, isn't it? We saw that with the crashes in the middle of the race.
Oh yeah, very, very tricky circuit. I haven't raced here much, and I think the reason I haven't raced here much comes down to just how difficult the circuit is. You know, it puts me off. I'll be honest. You know, it's a heck of a circuit, and I usually end up in the wall somewhere. So yeah, I tend not to race whenever it comes. I mean, I think you know, the touring car series that we do on the Thursday night, everybody probably knows about. You know, those ones occasionally run at this circuit, and I've kind of just had to grim it. And I find when I do them, I run at about 85% around this circuit, just to make sure I don't end up in the wall, because you know, I seem to get better results doing that than I do like absolutely on the edge.
I was going to say, is it one of those where you have to do a lot more practice than normal? For instance, is that what?
I think
is it a circuit that just needs the laps like the Nürburgring?
I think if you want to do well on it, absolutely. Like, you know, you look at some of the best drivers around this circuit. I mean, I'm just going to point to like Josh Rogers and Jared Filsell, you know, Aussies that love this circuit, you know, and well, yeah, Paul Smith, of course, and, you know, and they just smashing the laps in, so they're able to give that full commitment on every corner and not worry about the walls or anything like that, and you know, that's why
they can still drive it in a lot of different cars.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I feel it might be a bit like a Marmite circuit as well. You know, if you love it, love doing laps and things like that, then you know you'll happily pound around. But if, like me, it kind of just frustrates you a little bit because you keep banging it into the walls, then you tend to put in as minimal effort as you can.
You've got to have so much control in that mountain section. And the last question I want to ask you really before we go is, before I let you go just for a bit, is what would you do in terms of setup around here? Would you is it very much a compromise circuit similar to Spa?
I think it might be. Sorry, we're getting a few issues again. Yeah, certainly. I think if you were doing like a real long endurance event, you would go for a safer set, rather than think of something that is total outright pace, but you're going to be literally on the ragged edge for the best part of, you know, 90% of it. So I do feel some people will just calm it down ever so slightly just to make sure that they can get a long run in.
And we saw that, you know, I was saying to Adam, you probably heard that, you know, danger's around every corner and you might just get surprised by a crash, and that's exactly what we saw with poor old Matt Fletcher earlier on.
Right then, yeah. Top three into the pits. Ross McFarlane, Evdoka and Lewis Bibby all coming in for their final stop of the race. And I wonder what this could do in terms of the order. Ross McFarlane benefited big time from the first round of pit stops, didn't he? Let's see if he's able to hold on to that advantage from the second round of stops. Just like before, Pete Harrod resumes the lead from those three coming in.
Well, this is what's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because we're expecting maybe McFarlane's second stop to be a bit longer than his first. Because he gained so much time. We're looking at Steve Burke and Ash Beard at the moment. Burke in the number 23 and Beard in the 59. It's two Mercedes. The year one car behind is Ash Beard, but he's closing in. Got the slipstream on him. He's down to less than 0.2 of a second. Surely he's going to have a go into the chicane here.
Fast chase. The gap's 1/10 of a second. Does he go for it though? Oh, fantastic braking by Berg. That must be said, because if it wasn't for that, then Beard might have had an opportunity up the inside. It's still not over though. Going into Murray's, but Berg looks like he's coming into the pits and almost for a second. And I thought Beard might have gone in with him, but I wonder if he might have had an unsafe entry if he'd gone over that yellow line to get into the pit.
He's got a lot of experience, Steve Burke. He's no idiot when it comes to this sort of racing. You know, he's raced here in the BSRTC in the past. Knows what he's doing. Ash Beard now away into some clear air. I wonder if the Englishman will be able to get a good lap in here and try and maybe get an overcut on some of these guys. So Harrod leads from Palmer. Horder is in third, so continuing his good run. He's lost a few seconds to Pete Harrod, Adam, but considering they're in different classes, still a great performance by Horder. I mean, I don't know who we'll have to see after the pit stops shake out to where exactly the other Pro-Am drivers are, but it seems well ahead of the field.
Did a terrific job, definitely. Obviously, we'll wait and see, as he said, once the pit stops shake themselves out. Here's Lars van Rijn, who's in 35th place overall and doing an all right job in the AM category as well. Cool livery, I must say, as well. I do like that. But as he goes down the Conrad Straight, behind him is Ben Gregory in position anyway, in 36th place. There he is in the TechSense Fitstyle Motorsport car. Haven't seen too much of Ben today. I'm not sure as to why that is. We might have missed something from earlier.
Do we know
but
where he started at all?
Sure, I'd have to go on the sim for you to check that. I think my position gains are all over the place. Gregory did start in 41st place, so
right. So he's done well to fight through to where is he now?
29.
29. Well, yeah, it's still pretty good.
I think we're going to have to go for another break, guys. It's not bad, but I feel like it's going to be like this for the rest of the race, and we could get a reasonable. They just give me 3 or 4 minutes just to reload in.
Okay, well, we're just getting word there that we're going to go for another break. So we'll be back in sort of 5 minutes or so here on and the iRacing eSports Network when this World GT Championship race concludes.
Yeah, you guys are muted.
Yeah, Warmingham P5 at the moment. And a great race, really. These two Texas Pitstyle cars battling over the lead. Does this answer the question though, then, Adam, of whether that pit stop counts for Fletcher?
Oh, I have to see, won't we? We've still got a bit of time sorted out. We've got half an hour to go, but right now Fletcher is loving life at the front, so I have to wait and see on that occasion, I think. But yeah, right now he's currently.
He could have won the title, of course, in season 6. It wasn't for a bad couple of meetings at the end of the season.
An update for you on the state of Josh Thompson. He's up into 24th place. It's just an overtake, in fact, on Matt Bunn. So the Thrustmaster Movano car now up into P24 as we switch back to the fight for 3rd, 4th and 5th. This is Avdoka, Bibby and Warmingham in P5.
Yes, fighting over the bubbly. 3rd, 4th and 5th. Bit of traffic, moves out of the way nicely.
Just wanted to hop in very, very quickly once again and just apologise to everybody watching. Like I say, we're literally firefighting all night trying to keep this up and going. And yeah, I do apologise. It's not what we normally like to do. We have to have it rectified for next week. But yeah, just thanks for everybody's patience really with this one while we try and yeah, keep the stream going. I think that's really what it's been about tonight.
Yeah, indeed. Thanks, Alex, for that. Yeah, we've done extensive testing of this week and tonight even and things like that. And come the race, it just hasn't happened for us. So apologies.
Your question's been answered. Your question's been answered. Mark Fletcher's in from the race lead.
Warmingham in again then.
Oh.
Now that is for how many stops is that for him?
That is his. No, that is his. Oh, I was saying first.
Or was
on
he
my
off strategy? He might have been off strategy, you know. Let me just see. He started in 9th, so I don't know why he's not having another stop. Not sure. Maybe it's 2 mandatory stops, but maybe some of the drivers are preferring to take an extra one. I don't know. Maybe the tyres were going on that BMW.
Intrigued to see where he's going to emerge, but nonetheless, the fight
Fletcher's
for 2nd and 3rd.
In 9th,
carries on.
by the way. Sorry, mate.
No worries. Yeah, Warmingham just coming out now in 11th, so realistically hasn't lost too much ground. Fraser Smith also in, Pete Harrod in again, it looks like. To the pits he goes. That's his 3rd visit to the pits now for Pete Harrod, so I'm not sure what's constituted that. Right now it's McFarlane, Avdoka, Bibby as we are now inside the final half an hour. Very close between Fletcher and Freitas, and I think Fletcher has just got the position. So Mark Fletcher now into P8 and Freitas demoted back down to P9.
Yeah, the Mercedes sound fantastic as they go past the camera. Really nice throaty sound. Oh, Fletcher's car, I think, twitching a bit going down the mountain, but survives this time. That's the boosted car of who's that in the boosted car? Was that Mike Horner?
In this battle, it would be Simon Field, I think, in the boosted car 90.
It was a pink car. One board with Fraser Smith then. 21st.
Horder does have the pink number on the overlay, so you might be right on that occasion. Mike Gray is coming to the pits from 5th, so the XVR Sim Racing car looks like he might be about to relinquish his Pro-Am lead back to the aforementioned Horder.
Yeah, it's been a great race for Horder. Smith down the mountain, nice and smooth. Not really fighting the car too much down there. Ooh. Interesting, those two different lines through Forest Elbow.
Yeah, you don't see too many overtakes into that corner, not in this category anyway.
Oh, it's Thompson. Thompson's on the scene. Can he get something done here, the Williams?
Can he get back in the top 20?
Williams BMW on the day that their F1 team launched their new car. Hoping for better fortunes for them in 2020. Thompson outbreaks himself slightly. He's going to get away with it. And the man who was on pole and leading the majority of the race so far is up into 23rd. 23rd. 19th it might be, sorry.
Yeah, he's cracked the top 20 now. You might get past Mike Gray, who's just coming out of the pits now. It'll be touch and go to see if Thompson gets by. I think Gray, there he is, he's just leaving the pits now. So Thompson will be on his case, you'd expect, in the not too distant future. This is turning into a good drive back through the field, and I'm trying to work out what position Thompson could theoretically get by the end of the race, as we've still got 25 minutes to go here.
Yeah, pretty decent effort by Thompson after his crash. And that was the year one car kind of following Warmingham as he went a bit wide down the hill. Michael Blake's in the top 10 for Team Man. P9. He's another one of those drivers who doesn't really put a lot of stock in his own ability, but seems to pull out the good results when needed. George McClay is 12th, Ethan Bass is 13th. Charles Draycott's up to 15th place. I assume he needs to stop again, Adam, but still a good effort.
Yeah, the same is said to Michael Blake as well, with the AM driver in a P9 overall. But yeah, some decent drives for the field. That's what we get with these enduro races. The opportunity for drivers, if you keep it clean, could be on for some big points, especially in the second half of the race, as maybe a bit of fatigue sets in or whatever. Something the car might be slowly getting away from you. And
it's a good run.
He's there. Yeah, fantastic run on the exit there by Warmingham.
Great drive by Warmingham out of Hell Corner. Is he going to clear Michael Blake by the time he gets to the end of the straight? Yes, he is. So the XVR driver into P9 with just over 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes and 8, 7, 6, 5 seconds.
You can see what this year one Ferrari's going to do here. He's got a fantastic run through the uphill section at the cutting. So he's looking slightly sideways through there, but is able to carry on. The BMW now looking under pressure as they go to Lukey Heights, but surely you wouldn't want to go for a move down there unless you are incredibly brave.
You're back at Phillip Island again, mate.
Oh, McPhillip Park. Yeah, McPhillip Park and Brock Skyline. I want to go there. I don't know. I don't know why I've got that.
Maybe so. If you want to go to Phillip Island. Beard and Blake then.
It's a good sounding name. I think the World Superbikes are heading there this weekend, you know.
Yeah, that's usually their first meeting, isn't it? Ash Beard in the black and red car with fluorescent yellow versus Michael Blake in the black and red car with fluorescent yellow on it.
Beard's through. Yeah.
A bit more pink on that year one car actually than red.
The aficionados may say magenta on that one. Such an intense pink that.
Yeah. Fuchsia is another one that they said. I think it is more magenta. There you go. Racing Point releasing their new car as well today. That's a bit more pink. That's closer to the pink on the year one car than it is to the old pink. Now you've got that battle behind this between got Ethan Bass and Chris Danes very close together again, and I think with George McClay behind them, so got a good battle shaping up for 12th position.
I think Danes might have got the place, you know. So I think that is Danes up into 12th, as you can see on the timing tower, and then Bass down to 13th, and then McClay remains in 14th place, but with just 0.3 of a second between each of those three, those positions could change again.
Yeah, indeed they could. And we've seen that many times. In the last 20 minutes, a lot of things can happen. We covered a few races where 3 or 4 drivers ran out of fuel in the last lap, Adam, so seen everything here.
We go, we're riding on from the helicopter here over the line. Bathurst is a race where you usually see the theatrics of the helicopter during the race, trying to get the best shots. And here we are out of the Hell corner. Ben Palmer into the pits as well. Down the mountain straight we go. Bibby slowly closing in the fight for second. And you can see the burgundy Mercedes come into view, but at the corners, difficult to get an overtake done at the best of times. It's so quick in these cars. In the ARL TCR on a Thursday night, you can often see cars getting a move done there, but with these cars being so much quicker, it's not as big of a braking zone in these cars. So your overtaking opportunities are somewhat limited around here. As we've seen today, your best points are turn 1, chase, and then we get a good run through there, maybe even the final corner too.
Well, I think I might have got to the bottom of our technical issues, but we'll save that maybe for the end. So, might have an idea about what that is. Yeah, looking at the helicopter, it gives an idea of just how tight this mountain section is. Really no room for error. I remember the first time I drove around here, it was frightening, to be fair. Docker continues to keep Bibby behind him then. They're 15 seconds behind Ross McFarlane. Scotsman doing a great job.
Definitely. And it's not totally out of the equation yet of something going on for McFarlane. Not trying to tempt fate or anything, but Thompson had a similar style lead before the pit stops took place, lost that, and then ended up getting caught up in some lap traffic as well. So McFarlane will still have to negotiate his way through that one as the race continues, and it's about to enter its final quarter of an hour. Here comes Bibby again. Mercedes slightly closer than it was this time around, but not close enough to get a move done into the second corner, as you can see them edge up the gradient even more into the cutting. This is where Josh Thompson had his collision, quite pivotal collision in the context of this race, but you have to hog that inside line there. There is literally no grip on the outside whatsoever on that part.
That's where he ended up getting stuck, didn't he?
And
that's why he's lost so much time, Thompson. That's why he's 19th and probably not inside the top 10 where maybe he could have been, because he had so much trouble turning the car around, having to wait for a space. He did go back and get the fast repair. By then, a lot of the damage had been done to his race. But as is the nature of an hour and 45 minutes, if you do lose some time like he did, you can fight your way back through. And he's only a minute and 15 seconds off the lead. You remember, he was the fastest driver by a mile out there early on in the race. So him coming back isn't necessarily... it's not that far-fetched that he could make a few more places yet before the end. I mean, he's got two drivers directly in front of him, Woodhouse and Field. He may catch Harrod, but it'll be a tall order. Don't think he'll get any further than that if everyone else remains mistake-free.
Well, he's got to close down 12 seconds after Field to get to Woodhouse, and a quarter of an hour to go. That's not many laps around here. It is a 2-minute lap, so you're looking at about 6 or 7 laps. Yeah.
Thompson just set the fastest final sector of the race as well.
Well, there you go. He's still on it.
5.
In fact, I think he might even be the only driver that's lapped in the 159s all day, really. He is the only driver to have lapped in the 159s in this race today.
Oh, yeah. definitely.
Still, to finish first you must finish and all that. And now here's the fight
Yeah.
between Ben Palmer and Warmingham.
What do we always say, you know? What do we always say? You know, you have to get to the end of these races. 105 minutes is a long time. I mean, no, the only thing I can really compare it to is I did a 2-hour race at Watkins Glen once, and we've done the Le Mans 24 hours. And they're the only things that I can really compare it to is multiple stints in those.
Did a 24-hour karting race as well. I'll tell you what, that takes a life out of you. God.
So what did you give up right there and then after that, did you?
Oh, I never hurt so much in my life. But I'm not selling it to anyone, are you? I was with my bun.
15 minutes hurts, mate. I don't know about bloody
2 hours. I was like,
24 hours.
Alex Simpson. Oh, car on the wall. That's a McLaren, and that's Ben Palmer, I think, who's clobbered the barrier now, and it looks like the car is severely handicapped as a result. Just behind, Warmingham's got past him as a result, and Ben Palmer might be limping back to the pits. He can barely turn right as it is through the dipper. Yeah, Alex Simpson was my pitboard man for that stint, and I was every lap just like, please hang out the pit-in board.
He had to then get the position, the numbers getting higher and higher every lap.
It was my own fault for not being ready when it was my turn. Jamie Fluke, you probably know him, World Championship driver, was in the car before me, and then I was standing on the pit wall waiting for him to come round, and then he appeared next to me saying, "What are you doing here? You should be in the car."
Oh dear, failure to prepare is preparing to fail and all that.
Looking here at Michael Abdoka now in second place. Ben Palmer has come into the pits after that. Ash Beard also in too, so I will check for you to see if that is is mandatory stop taking place, or whether he needs to come in for some extra service.
Imagine mandatory, yeah.
It is his second stop.
It was one of the later ones to. It was one of the later ones to pit in the first inning.
Might still work out for him, you know. We'll wait and see. Right now, he is still currently second place in class as we ride here. Well, we look at the BMW of Richard Warmingham, who is the second highest Beamer in the field, behind Jake Blackwell. Jake Blackwell to be top BMW. That is a good result for him as long as he can keep going.
Yeah, it wasn't looking likely at some point, was it? I think we've lost Kip Stevens as well. I don't know if we lost him at the very beginning of the race, actually, to be honest.
I'm not sure. Was he the Ferrari that collided with Thompson earlier?
Not sure. He did
Was he year
25
one?
laps. That might be about right, you know. Possible. It's
Thompson's out to third.
Everybody, really.
Thompson's up to 13th place after all that, by the way. He's got past Field and Woodhouse.
Yeah, and I
Now
think he's
he's
had all his trips to the pits.
2 seconds away from Harrod, who has got that damage, and I'm not sure whether he's used his fast repair or not. Then it's Harrod. Sorry, it's Harrod. Then it's Bass, and then it's Leclerc.
Harrod, I think. I don't know, actually.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it.
Crash behind Thompson. I can't see who it is.
It's Beard. Oh no, it's Bash Beard.
Oh, it's Beard. Oh, he smashed it. Oh, can he get it back to the pits for his fast repair? I hope he didn't tick the box on his first pit stop. That was it. Bang, front right into the wall. It was like the other one earlier on, front right, then front left. Hang on, was that a Ford GT?
Scroll through in.
Dennis Melcher.
Yes. Oh, Dennis.
Of course, we knew it was going to happen, but in all the mental, put it this way, in all the mental business of the start of the race, right?
Have you seen his livery, by the way? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good, and he's got a tribute to his dad on the back there as well. But,
yeah,
but yeah, after all the,
yeah, carry on,
all
sorry.
that mess, we didn't even notice he was there this week. I looked for him last week, and he wasn't there. This week, I didn't look for him, and he's there.
Thompson's in for his first visit to the pits, which probably rules out the question of his toe being his second stop, which rules out any hope of him getting into the top 10. I was just going to say that anybody that finishes behind Dennis Melcher, you've finished behind the World GT Championship medical car.
Yes,
so,
it's the oldest car in the iRacing service in terms of GT3s, I believe. But it's a GT2 car made into a GT3, really. GT2 it doesn't exist anymore. That's all the car is. No, this is Danes versus McClay. 7 minutes and change to go. Right, it's
into
10
the elbow.
Minutes, actually, isn't it? 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Yeah. Onto the Commonwealth straight we go then, and it's a similar situation to what we've seen a few times. The BMW without any slipstream help, up against the Mercedes that is sucking up all the air from the BMW in front of it.
Yeah, big old slipstream then. Paul McClay's not quite close enough. Well, it's nowhere near close enough into the chicane, but he might work something for the mountain straight. I think there's a crash. I've heard some. Yeah, I think that's
Lars Jepsen?
well, the two cars behind them, I think, might have made a little bit of contact.
Well, yeah, they've exchanged.
Which is another
One of the Brittech
car. Ethan Bass and Pete Harrod, I guess. Anyway, let's see what McClay can do up the hill. Quite a sizable hill, this. It doesn't really look like it when you're... Well, I bet if you walked up it from Hell Corner up to here, but it's a fair walk. Danes throws it into... the cut-in? No, not the cut-in. Griffith Bend, sorry. Griffin's Bend. Then the cut-in.
Over the top of the hill, you just pray that they don't hit that outside wall.
It looks like they're going to do it every single time, doesn't it? And the drivers do great. The drivers do absolutely great in this. I think to survive. I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't have at this point.
I'm not sure if the old iRacing World Championship Grand Prix series in the Williams or the McLaren ever went here.
Well, that's a question. That might be a question for Alex more than anything else. But yeah, it's. I'm not sure. It would be tough.
At least you know you'd have the downforce for Birkfinley Park and all that.
That's true.
Yeah, but it never ran here.
Would everybody have ended up in a big pile?
Yeah, it wasn't actually too bad to drive. I mean, obviously I wanted to drive it to see how it was, and it was alright, you know. So I think
They just never did it.
yeah, even on the lowest downforce setting, there was more than enough downforce to whiz it through and down the mountain.
Is it flat at the top of the hill?
I believe it was, yeah.
Oh. Sounds scary to me.
P1s around the mountain, that would be funny. Well, entertaining, I should say.
Don't give them any ideas.
Well, that's true. Special event, anyone? Over the top of the hill then, on the mountain straight, we've got just under 8 minutes to go here. And someone's dropping down the order. In fact, here it is. This is the battle for 15th and 14th place. This is Mike Gray versus Simon Field.
Field's moved through the field in tremendous fashion. Started from the pit lane to 14th place, showing his quality. Mike Gray, who good job last week. Didn't take a win last week, Mike Gray. He did, didn't he? Am I right there, or did I just make that up? Oh, look at the state of that Audi just behind them. I don't know who that is, but that is a mess. That might be
Christian Rose.
at the top of the hill. Was it? Oh no, it was Christian Rose, isn't it?
The one that crashed in the hill is definitely
Hills.
was definitely Jack Hills. Yeah.
It's a hell of a mess on that RRA. Just got 5 minutes 40 to go, so 3 more laps it looks like. Where's the leader at the moment? Austin Farley. I think he'll be... Yeah, it'll be 3 more laps, I reckon. Even before I've got that spectacularly wrong, but... Grace putting some pressure on Mark Woodhouse now, Adam.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Grace doing well with the bent rear wing as well. Oh, Ben Palmer, we've lost him.
Paul King has crashed as well, at least according to the event viewer anyway. Just to come back on the track, but he is currently in. Goodness me, whereabouts is he on the circuit here?
This is getting feisty.
Yeah, this is very close. This is the fight for second place.
Yeah, I wonder if they will fight each other. They're on the same stable, Fitzstein Motorsport. And one thing you don't want to do, Adam, especially early on in the season, is you don't want to take out your teammate and you don't want to lose points for the championship, flashing the lights vociferously at the Ferrari there. But, I mean, really, if the Ferrari stays on his line, it's alright flashing the lights, but you guys are going to get past. Good run by Bibby. Great run through the chicane on him. He might have been going to Murray's.
Oof.
Oh, that's it. I think maybe Lewis Bibby a couple of years ago might have gone for that.
Maybe on the final lap, eh?
It's worth a try on the final lap because at least if you
Very short run to the line. Yeah.
Yeah, short of getting buried in the wall, you're pretty much all right.
Up the hill we go, and in fact, it's a fantastic run by Bibby. We did see a few moves get done around the outside here earlier on, but not able to get it done this time.
Yeah, there were a couple of good ones at the beginning of the race, weren't there? Foggy, I think, did one. Hill again then. And if Doka, oh, it's wide again. He does like the wider line. I say he likes it. He either does it on purpose or he doesn't. But he, he brushes with the wall. Very close.
Porter still remains top Pro-Am driver as well, even though the pit stops have now all cycled out, which is a fantastic effort from him.
Yeah, just a quick recap of that Pro-Am category. Of all the categories, in fact, in the Pro, then it's McFarlane, then Avdoka, Bibby, Blackall and Fletcher, that's the top 5. In the Pro-Ams, it's Horder, Bass, Woodhouse, Gray and Field. And in the AMs, it's Blake, Burke, Jones, Bolland and Engels. Do the fast chase again. Oh. Where's McFarlane? He must have crossed the line already, so might be 2 more laps here.
Might just, yeah, it's going to be close, and that might throw a spanner in the works potentially. They're coming over the timing line now with just under 2 minutes to go.
It was a bit wide there, was maybe in pursuit of a Doka.
And this is probably one of the closest battles we've got on the circuit at the moment. We've got the fight for second going on here. We've also got the fight for a spot in the top 10 going down to the flag. That is between George McClay and Pete Harrod. And here it is on the screen for you. BMW versus Mercedes here.
Indeed. And BMW in front.
Oh, and a McLaren too.
And then it's McClay. Pete Harrod's had good pace in this one, but oh, that was a big slide. Something that you always want to see on worn tyres. George McClare did a good job of holding that one together. Good run up the mountain straight. Very good run. It's not quite alongside. Can't get the overlap. You don't want to go for a dive bomb.
So as tempting as it might be, look at this. This is a fight between Matt Bunn and Fraser Smith going into the final corner.
Oh, Fraser Smith then in the Brit Tech car. He's on the inside, Matt Bunn on the outside. Matt Bunn up 6 places from where he started, also is Smith. Smith trying to get the move done on Bunn, isn't it? He was behind him.
Wheel-to-wheel stuff this over the top of the hill, and it's going to be Bunn that gets it. He has the race, he has the inside line. Will he drift out wide? He will, but it will be enough for Bunn to keep that 18th place.
Yeah,
Get that 18th.
Not much trouble there for Bunn. Landing on this, no one is doing so well. Where's Ross McFarlane? Adam, has he started his final lap yet?
He's definitely on it, because I think we would have the checkered flag by now if he hadn't crossed that line, so he will be somewhere.
There goes Matt Bunn. Well,
oof.
He's just made it a bit harder for himself. He's got dirt on his tyres coming down the mountain now. Needs to be careful. Really hanging it all out now for these last couple of places. But where is McFarlane on the circuit? Let's get a view of him soon. He is the one who's going to take the honours here at Bathurst if he gets to the finish line. Where is he?
Here he is. Coming down the Commonwealth straight now.
This will be the final lap. So it's been a terrific performance by Ross McFarlane. Started on the front row. Couldn't keep up with Thompson in the early going, but when Thompson came a cropper, McFarlane was there, and in his usual style, no mistakes, no dramas. And Ross McFarlane, Scotland, is going to come home here at Bathurst and win round 4 of the 2020 World GT Championship, Season 7. He's going to win on the iRacing eSports Network. Congratulations to him.
Terrific job. And here comes Michael Avdoka to put the icing on top of Aussie flavoured cake here, because it's Texans Fitstar Motorsport 1-2, and then third is going to be Lewis Bibby completing the podium. Renvale, Fitstar Motorsport, and then it's a 1-2-4 for Texans with Mark Fletcher coming across the line in 4th.
By the way, what a recovery by Fletcher. That's been in the air at one point, and he almost got sent over the fence and down the hill. A great job. This is Chris Daines versus Pete Harrod on the final lap. I reckon we'll see some fireworks. Here is the McLaren firing up its top speed. Can it get through? He's going to go on the inside to the chase. Around the outside into the chicane. Fire spewing from the exhaust of the McLaren. Daines gets it in late, and McClay tried to take advantage. He couldn't. Ended up making contact. Very close between Daines, and is he going to have a look in the final corner? He's flashing the lights. He can't get close, Harrod. It's going to be Chris Daines who comes across the line in 9.
He's trying every... Oh, look at this. This is the fight between Woodhouse and Gray, and Woodhouse has missed the corner. Oh, and he's made a mistake as Gray, and I think Simon Field is going to get both of them.
Field's going to have the pair, isn't he? He needs to stay to the inside if he wants to hold this position. Oh, Gray! Good cutback. Oh, longer than enough. What happened to Woodhouse?
Simon Field. So Woodhouse missed the corner. Is he out of fuel potentially? I don't know.
Has he made it?
I think he has. He's in 16th place.
He's out.
15th
He might be
place.
out of gas, you know. Could well be out of gas. This is Fraser Smith. Saw him in the battle with Matt Bunn. Matt Bunn wins out that time. BMW ahead of Mercedes, Lars Jebsen in the Mad Cow Audi. also come across as well. Lars Van Rijn. So the winners in all the different categories then, Ross McFarlane, the Pro, Mike Horder in the Pro-Am, and Michael Blake taking home the Am category honours.
Last time I did check on this overlay, the results page wasn't working. We might give it a try this time though and see if it does, as everybody is now crossed the line and everybody is on their way back to the pits. Take stock of what is the first enduro race of the campaign ticked off. And next time out, the series will be heading to heads for the calendar. Oh, 2 secs. It looks like the results page still isn't playing ball with us on that one.
Took a while last week, didn't it, as well, I think.
Next week, the series will be heading away from the Mount Panorama Circuit in Bathurst. That's where we've had the endurance race today. And then it will be heading to Circuit Shield Villeneuve in Canada.
Oh, which is always a good one. We know that.
Hopefully we have we've sussed out what the issues are with the streaming, but we can run you through the results anyway. We can see them on our timing screen. It's just that the results page is not appearing. Ross McFarlane wins the race, and we'll be very happy with that. That'll be a big haul of points because he was leading at the 50% mark, and at the end of the race as well. Michael Evdoka in second, big haul of points in the team's championship. This for TechSense Fitstite. Lewis Bibby completing the podium. Sam Fitzpatrick is going to have to get a bigger trophy cabinet, I reckon, at this rate. Mark Fletcher finishes in fourth. Mike Horder coming home as top Pro-Am in fifth. Pro-Am in the top 5. That is a good result for the Boosted Motorsport team. They'll be delighted with that. Jake Blackwell, top Aussie in 6th. 7th, Miguel Freitas. 8th for Rich Warmingham. 9th, Chris Daines. And 10th for Pete Harrods, who very nearly got 9th in the run to the line. 2 Scotsmen after that, George McClay and Ethan Bass. Simon Fields getting 2 places in the last 2 corners, dispatching Mike Gray and Mark Woodhouse. Josh Thompson got 16th place in the end, but he could have won it if it wasn't for an incident whilst lapping traffic. Christian Rose in 17th. 18th place for Matt Bunn. Fraser Smith in 19th for Michael Blake, I believe the top Am, completing the top 20. Lars Jepsen in the Mad Cow racing car. We didn't see too much of Lars today, but we did. There's a good performance to get to 21st. Steve Burke for Team Lizard in 22nd. Then Daniel McCauley in 23rd. Ash Beard for Year 1 Racing had an incident where he hit the wall at the dipper, but managed to salvage a 24th place finish there. The Maltese, John Aegis, finishing in 25th. And John Roberts, who was once the king of the mountain, finishes in 26th in his Ferrari. And another Ferrari in 27th, Craig Jones in the SCC racing car. Then Kevin Bolland in 28th. 29th for Lars Van Rijn. Casper Engels in the Mercedes in the CCTS eSports Red GT. And Billy Fletcher, CQR Sim Sports. Bart Perret in the next CCTS eSports Red GT car. Then Chris Coughlin, 33rd. 34th, Nathan Dixon. Carl Jacquelette in 35th. Then Matt Draycott for Team Lizard. Then Dean Timms, BritTech eSports. Summer Marshall for Team Rookie Monsters in 38th. Then we've got the Solitary Ford GT in the field. Dennis Melchert finishing 39th. Chaz Draycott in 40th. 41st for Ben Palmer. Adam Hedgecock in 42nd. Then it's Ben Gregory, 43rd. Not sure what transpired for Nicole Foggy. Maybe he was involved in the mess at the top of the hill. But nonetheless, he finished 44th. And Paul King, 45th, had a few incidents during the race. Didn't see them, though. I just saw them on the event viewer. Kevin Duval in 46th. Oscar Mangan out earlier, too. Morgan Butler, 48th. Kip Stevens there, 49th. And then Jack Hills, the Audi, finishing in 50th. Pete Newman, 51st. And Niall Crofer in 52nd. Simon Underhill, 53rd. Dave Christie, issues for him today. The Camber Media racing car in 54th. Then Harry Wills in 55th. And then the cars that didn't take part, well, didn't get going really. Andy Shield out early on, Barry Baird also, and James King we saw get propelled into the New South Wales sky on the Conrod Straight. Finished in 58th today.
All right, Adam, well done. That's probably the biggest grid we've had, the biggest results table we've had to read out in a long time. So well done to you. Well done to everybody who finished and everybody who took part in general as well. And we are going to speak to the race winner. It's Ross McFarlane joins us in the commentary box. Ross, can you hear us, mate?
Hello.
Well, Ross, he started on the front row. It looked like it was going to be tricky when Josh went off and did his thing in the first half of the race, but you stuck with it. He had his problems, and then you looked like it was fairly smooth sailing to the end.
Yeah, that was a strangely routine race. I think we all knew with the lack of ballast compared to the 12-hour, there was a ballast on both cars, but the BMW had a bit less to work with here. So unladen with ballast and with Josh at the wheel, it was a good combo for him to just disappear off into the distance. And I wasn't going to push to try and catch him. He was always going to be faster. But I think he made a small error with his fuel, maybe. I think he took a little bit too much to stay ahead of me. I got ahead of him, and I knew that if I wanted the halfway points, I was going to have to stay there. And I think maybe he had an incident coming through the traffic, and it's a bit unlucky for him. It's a bit disappointing, but I guess I benefit from it.
Well, I mean, yeah, you don't like to benefit from people's misfortune, but on a track like this, it's certainly going to happen every now and again. What's your mindset in terms of when you approach um a circuit like this and a race length like this? Does it? I guess it changes, but in what way do you try and stay focused out there?
Yeah, it's a rhythm track. There is no way you get around here for an hour and a half, 2 hours without having a rhythm in your brain, just going lap after lap after lap. And people do their best to upset that rhythm. There was a few back markers, some Audis out there who were just scary to come up behind them, but they're struggling. Their cars are a little bit twitchier. If you don't have that rhythm, that tends to be what happens. You start to slide around, and I think once I had the lead and I had the big gap, it was just I put Delta session last lap, and I just time trial to the end. I knew that I was good for fuel, so I had no worries.
Yeah, and when that's half the battle, isn't it? When you know that you've got no issues, you can just push and good things tend to happen. Thanks for joining us, mate. Anyway, we know you've had a great day and a great day for the team as well. So just if you want to give your shout outs and your thanks to the sponsors and people like that.
Yeah, I'll just say thanks to the team, Tech Sense FitsDie, #Radicals, because we've got obviously Mark joining us for this. We've just got off to an absolute flyer. I think we have a very, very strong team, and we work well together. It's been a great start, and hopefully we continue it through the championship. Hopefully individually we have good results as well. But as a team, it's been great, and I'm sure I'll let Mark say his word as well for his sponsors. But no, thanks to the team, and thanks to you guys again for the streaming.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll enjoy watching it and seeing the
Yeah.
coverage. But
I
yes,
hope so. I hope so. Thanks very much, Ross, and well done. Go and enjoy your win.
Yeah, well,
Ross McFarlane, then Adam, and commanding performance really after Josh's incident. And yeah, I think we've got time for probably one or two more. Who have we got down there that you want to pick next?
I don't think we'll see too many more winning margins as that's for sure this season. Shall we get on to?
I want to speak to
Well,
Michael Blake because he won his
yeah,
category.
he won his category. Yeah, he won the AM category. So let's get him in for a quick word. A class win for you today, Michael. Well done.
Yeah, that was pretty good fun. Ran out of tyres sort of about 2 laps before my second pit stop, and I was having an iron whether to change them, but I didn't, and I was really struggling for pace after that. But it was good fun.
With there being so many cars in the field in this championship in particular, is three classes probably the best way to split it with pro am and then the AMs as well?
Yeah, I think it is because it gives more people something to keep fighting for. As you always see with leagues, as the seasons go on, the grids always shrink a little bit. When some people like if they haven't got anything to race for, they don't feel like being that committed. But like doing it this way, it just puts so many more people, keeps them in it for much longer.
And how was having Bathurst for an enduro race today? You couldn't really have got a much tougher track for that. You had to make sure that you kept your wits about you with some of the back markers, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's quite good because obviously the 12 hours only a couple of weeks ago, so it's still sort of fresh. It was just sort of like jumping back in for another stint of that. Everybody was really well behaved in this. I didn't have any issues with any back markers. Everybody gave room. The first couple of laps, you just sort of holding your breath, but I didn't see hardly any. Don't think I saw any incidents on the first couple of laps actually. It was a really good job by everybody.
And with the points being dished out at 50%, were you trying to schedule your stops around that to make sure you could get as high a position as possible when that moment came?
I wasn't really thinking about that too much because I didn't have the best pace in the class tonight, but I wanted to try and go as long as I could, so the final pit stop was as short as possible. So I sort of gave up the halfway points, if you get what I'm saying, and then was focusing on the end of the race.
And now you've got to switch mentality again for next week because we go to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for 3 20-minute sprint races around there. When it's a 20-minute sprint race like that, how difficult is it to remain in control with where you're trying to go basically as flat out as you can for 20 minutes each time?
Yeah, it's difficult because, like in the enduros, you can if you catch somebody up that you're a little bit quicker than, you can sort of ride behind them for a lap or two, see where you are much better, where they're better than you. Think about where you're going to make a move. In the sprint races, you haven't really got time. Everybody's so close, regardless what class they're in on pace. If you get to someone, you've got to really try and take your opportunity straight away, because if you wait, somebody's going to be overtaking you.
Right. Well, we look forward to seeing you in that next week. Before we go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, everybody at Team Mad, Fanatec, Overclockers, um, Calder Rescue, Smile Time Productions, and the Simon Racing and Phoenix Racing.
Well, great job today. That's probably one of the toughest races we're going to have all season, and yeah, hopefully we see you again in similar position at Montreal next week.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
Cheers, Michael. And I think um probably just have a quick word with Josh, I think, as well. I think that'll be the final one that we have here. Josh Thompson joins us in the commentary box. Josh, can you hear us?
Yep.
Hey mate, it's been a while since we've had you in the commentary box, but maybe not the best race to do so. I mean, you started on pole, great qualifying lap, went off on your own for a while, and then the real bad luck just hit. Talk us through the rest of your race.
Yeah, like you said, qualifying, good lap. Could have been a bit better. There's a few mistakes in it, but end of the day, it got the job done. Especially as Bathurst, it's very important to be up at the front so you're not in that mess and drop too far back. Yeah, it went all to plan, to be honest, at the start of the race. Ross then took a bit less fuel to get track position, I think. So obviously he used like 10 seconds or something behind before the stop. So he closed that and overturned it. So obviously, a bit in a chase, just got unlucky with traffic, really. There's not much to say on the incident. It was just one of those things that there was nothing I could really do. I was the innocent bystander. At first, I thought I caused it, but no, looking back, he lost it completely on his own offline. So yeah, I think the only crumb of comfort is being a lap down and having to tow to come back through to 15th, 16th, and
Hmm.
on the lead lap. I can't really complain.
No, I mean, it was a good second half of the race, set some fast lap times. The BMW looked like it was going well around here.
Yeah, so the BMW, it was a bit of a ace track for this. Obviously, before the Bathurst 12 hour, it was the fastest car before it got weighed. It got weighed, it was still as fast. So coming into this with no weights on the car, everyone automatically would point fingers. The car felt amazing from lap one in qualifying, from everything. So yeah, it's just a shame I couldn't capitalize on it with other tracks coming up where the car won't be as strong.
Yeah, I mean, the BMW, Jekyll and Hyde car, isn't it? Sometimes it's very, very quick around certain tracks, and then other tracks with this, where it relies on the straight line speed, it suffers. But it's a good all rounder, and it seems quite easy to drive.
Yes, the straight line speed, to be fair, has not been bad. That's one thing a lot of people forget. Everyone points and goes, it's not fast in a straight line. Today I was passing Mercs in a straight line. So it can't be too bad. But I think I'd just gel with the car the most. I think that's the reason why I can get the pace out of
It's to give Adam the magic formula for BMW straight line speed. I think that's the
it.
one thing he needs when he jumps in the car. I think. But yeah, it's good to talk to you, mate. Unfortunately, yeah, it wasn't a wonderful result for you, but it's still good points. And going to Gilles Villeneuve, I mean, is it in Montreal? Is it a track that you enjoy?
Yeah, it'll be a good one. Again, one of those tracks where it won't suit the car as well. It'll be a Barcelona spec where the car's still competitive, but it's not where I want it to be. I'll have to make sacrifices with how I want the car to be set up. So I'll have to go and see what happens.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us there, mate, and we'll catch you in Montreal next time. Josh Thompson there, and apologies to all the other drivers that we couldn't get to, but we'll try and get to you next time. Adam, well, that concludes a couple of hours of hectic racing at Bathurst, and several drivers are setting up for a good season, aren't they?
Well, yeah, it was hectic from the get go, as you said. Cars were coming into the pits for scheduled stops throughout the race, and with the 50% and the 100% points getting dished out to each driver, there'll be plenty of positives for some, and a few things to go away and work on for others when we head to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve next week. One thing's for sure, though, they'll be desperate to go all out to get the points next time. Of course, the races will only be 20 minutes. And of course, we've got the reverse grid to factor into the equation as well. And we saw at Catalonia how important that was for a whole load of drivers. With an entry list as big as this, with 60 cars, the reverse grid is going to be quite defining. So looking forward to seeing that back next week, and looking forward to being back at Montreal as well. It's been a while since we've been there. So looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Tremendous circuit, and I'm sure we'll see a fantastic race. Well, thank you everybody for joining us once again. Massive apologies to viewers at home and to the league for the issues that we've had. It's genuinely unprecedented here on the channel for us to have issues like this. So
Yeah, I'd just like to
um,
step in as well. Obviously, I've been trying to work throughout the broadcast to understand exactly what it's gone on really. It's a very, very odd one. I think a lot of it stems to the fact that we have a massive, massive grid on a couple of really graphically heavy tracks, which is causing the CPU to spike somewhat by the looks of it. It just sort of builds up over the course of the race. Yeah, we'll we'll have to perhaps pump some resources around and see what we can do in terms of getting someone over an i7 for 4 gigahertz to run it, because I'm overclocked and all sorts and had the problems as well today. So it is pounding it like poor old, just to let everyone know, poor old Adam's PC just just didn't want to know, did it, earlier on? So once we try and do everything. So yeah, something a bit weird is going on with the C bar there, and a massive load on the CPUs for whatever reason. And obviously, for anyone who knows now, like, most of the broadcasting is actually done off of the graphics card and not actually the CPU. So it's not the actual stream that causes the hit on that. It's something to do with iRacing itself. So yeah, it's a very, very, very strange one. We'll do some investigation over the week, do some more tests. We've got a couple of other big grid leagues that we can run some tests and see what's going on, and see if we can try and get this resolved for next week. But yeah, apologies, guys. I'm glad we were able to at least get the get the race broadcasted with a couple of little breaks to reset the session, as it was kind of an accumulating thing. It just sort of built up as the race went on and got worse. So yeah, yeah, my sincere apologies, and yeah, we're working on it, and we'll try and improve it for next week.
Yeah, and again, apologies to the drivers in the league as well, because we really want them to be able to showcase their skills to their full potential. But yeah, we're gonna be back fighting next week. We always try and do the best we can, and I'm sure we can get back to that standard that we're used to putting out for you. So, but that's enough of that. Adam, thank you very much, mate, again for joining me. It's been fun.
Oh, I loved it. Bring on next week. Oh well, yeah, we do love covering this league.
Yeah, it's a great league, massive grids, great action, and I'm sure when we get back to the sprint race format as well, we'll see a lot of close quarters racing. Well, for now and for everybody else here, thank you for watching us here on the iRacing Esports Network, and from all of us here at Apex Racing TV. We'll see you next week at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Good night.